Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show, News Talk 790 KFYO. Streaming online at KFYO.com. And, of course, you got the Radio Pop app as well. You can follow me on Twitter at Chad Hasty Radio. That's at Chad Hasty Radio on Twitter. A lot to get into in this hour. Final hour of today's program. Phone lines open to you, 770-5790, toll-free, 1-800-687-0790. We also popped on the Periscope app as well, just for a little bit during this hour of the program. A lot still going on in the 2016 race. Mike Huckabee, who I'm not a big fan of, making news yesterday, dominating the news cycle. He out-Trumped Trump yesterday. Donald Trump was really not even talked about yesterday. It said it was the Mike Huckabee show, as there were some who were very upset with Mike Huckabee. That included the President of the United States, who had made comments about Mike Huckabee, and other Republicans as well. And what started all of this was a comment that Mike Huckabee made over the weekend, which he was talking about this deal with Iran, that the president's policy towards Iran would, quote, take the Israelis and march them to the door of the oven. Okay. Invoking a little Holocaust talk there, which normally I'm not a fan of. I absolutely hate it whenever a politician likens another politician to Hitler. Stop. It's annoying. Whenever a commentator says, they're like Hitler. No, they're not. Mike Huckabee was criticized by President Obama yesterday. He was criticized by Jeb Bush yesterday. He was criticized by Rick Perry yesterday. Now, Ted Cruz came out and defended Mike Huckabee. According to Fox News, Cruz stood by Mike Huckabee. Said Governor Huckabee has a strong, powerful voice in defense of the Jewish people. Cruz said he's exactly right to highlight the threat that Obama's nuclear deal poses the threat towards the nation of Israel. It's a sad day when the President of the United States cannot or will not see this truth. Jeb Bush lashed out at Huckabee's assessment of the administration's deal with Iran, calling it, quote, just wrong. Mike Huckabee's wording, not the deal with Iran. Bush said at a campaign stop in Florida, I think we need to tone down the rhetoric for sure. That type of language is just wrong. That's not the way we're going to win elections. It's not how we're going to solve problems, Bush added. So I think it's an unfortunate remark. I'm not quite sure why he felt compelled to say it. Okay. What's the problem with having harsh rhetoric towards Iran and this deal with Iran? What's the problem with it? Yesterday, Mike Huckabee went on to Fox News on the 5 with Geraldo and others attacking him for his comments. Geraldo saying that he was offended by Mike Huckabee's statements. Why? Mike Huckabee, all he was doing was using language that would highlight, in my belief, the threat that a nuclear Iran has towards Israel. Let's not forget that I know the Iranians are our best friends now. The Ayatollah tweets out a picture with a character of Obama with a gun to his head. You know, they're our good buddies. This is the same nation that is the leading state sponsor of terrorism around the world. This is the same nation that has called for wiping Israel off the map. Some may call that a Holocaust, if it were to actually happen. This is the same country, Iran, whose leaders in the past have said that the Holocaust never happened. And so what Mike Huckabee was trying to paint a picture of is a deal that the president worked out that would bring upon another Holocaust. And it is possible. You can't stay there. You can't sit around and say, oh, no, Iran's going to be best friend. They're going to be acting responsibly. The last deal that we cut, a nuclear deal that we cut with North Korea, we saw how well that worked out. We know how this is going to work out with Iran. We already know. And so while normally I don't mind taking a shot at 2 or 3 at Mike Huckabee, I have no problem with what Mike Huckabee said. It needed to be said. I think if anything, what the election so far, with Donald Trump's rise, has shown so far, is that harsh rhetoric is okay. That harsh rhetoric is accepted by Republican voters. That Republican voters want to hear rhetoric. They want to hear this. You call it harsh. I call it honest. I don't believe that Mike Huckabee was trying to equate President Obama to Adolf Hitler. I don't think so at all. But the deal that the Obama administration is pushing and that President Obama himself is pushing could lead to Iran having a nuclear bomb. Just could. It's a fact. And if that happens, Israel is at a huge risk. Really, everybody is, but especially Israel. And so I don't have a problem with this. Look, everyone's talking about this deal again. The Iranian deal. Everyone's talking about this again. And so I think it's right for Cruz to defend Mike Huckabee. Cruz did take exception to Bush's attack on Huckabee, saying, quote, it's not a question of rhetoric. It's a question of speaking the truth. True. Just be honest. I know Bush wants to, play the nice card here. I don't know why you would. This is a horrible deal. Over 50% of the country is against this deal with Iran. The American voters know this is a bad deal. We saw what happened with North Korea. What do you think is going to happen with Iran? They're not going to play by the rules. This is still a country that hates America. This is still a country that absolutely can't stand Israel. And this is a country where, honestly, you have leaders you can't trust. So, yeah, I've got no problem at all with what Mike Huckabee said. I don't think he should apologize. I'm glad that Mike Huckabee is standing his ground and that he's refusing to apologize. Good for Mike Huckabee. That's what we need more of. If there's anything that Republicans can learn from the rise of Donald Trump, it's to be bold. And it's to use language and not apologize and say how you really feel. And that's what Mike Huckabee did yesterday. And even on the set of Fox, he's like, I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to apologize. Are you kidding me? Now, part of the reason why Ted Cruz decided to defend Mike Huckabee, it has to do with politics, too. Now, it's all political. Don't think it's not. If Mike Huckabee were to drop out of the race tomorrow, Ted Cruz is hoping that the Mike Huckabee voters would go to Ted Cruz. That's what he's hoping. And so why would you bash Mike Huckabee, especially over Iran? You have nothing to gain by bashing Mike Huckabee, unless you're President Obama and you just want to bash Republicans, which is what he did in Africa yesterday. And so if you're Ted Cruz, yeah, you defend Mike Huckabee. Why not? Go ahead and do it. Maybe later on in the election, Mike Huckabee drops out because he's not going to be the nominee. You get his voters. You get his support. Ted Cruz playing this smart on this Iranian deal right now. I don't know why Rick Perry said that the comments were wrong. Comments were exactly right. I mean, the big fear out there is that this Iranian deal goes south. Iran has the bomb. And if they do want to wipe Israel off the map, watch out.